I'm Scott Allen Miller, and today on Sam IT, I'm going to talk about one of those dirty secrets of the IT industry. It's actually kind of not so much a dirty secret of IT as much as it's a dirty secret of everyone who's hiring IT. That secret is that most job listings, most job postings that you see out there are fake. That's right. And I estimate it's somewhere around 85%, but of course there's no way to really know, especially because any given job's ability to be fake is somewhat subjective. But let's talk about why this is the case. So at a high level, one of the things you have to realize is that the entire job market online, where we have job postings and job candidates that we need to match up, is a lot like an online dating service. And like an online dating service, both sides benefit from having really large numbers. People who are on the hiring side want to see loads and loads of candidates. It makes them feel good about the service that they're using, that they're getting a large number of resumes or calls or submissions. On the other side, candidates want to see a large number of job listings. They feel like they're getting great value because they have lots of different jobs to which they can apply, and that feels like they have their best chances because there's so many opportunities. So both sides want to see big numbers, even if they only want to hire one person or get one job. That's an emotional reaction. It doesn't actually make sense. Both sides simply want the right connection. The company wants to hire one good person or a few, and that's all they care about. Whether there's 1,000 people waiting behind them or two doesn't matter to them. Not in the end of the day. It's just not important. The same for job candidates. You want one job, not 1,000. It just has to be the right job, and it has to hire you at the rate that you're happy with. But as long as you get that one, no matter how many others there are, isn't beneficial to you. And the more there are, it's actually harder to wade through. So it's actually a negative because it makes the process of locating and combining the right resources that much harder. So both sides have a really strong incentive to provide something to the other side that's not exactly honest. Jobs have a lot of reasons to want to attract people. So they want to make jobs look really attractive or interesting. And candidates want to lie about their skills and make themselves sound really useful and interesting. Everybody has something to play in listing themselves online, exactly like a dating site. So in dating, we know that sites like Tinder, for example, are famous for being more than 99% fake. It's either completely fake, which is the category where the services themselves create fake profiles to make the service look like it's busy, or other companies use the service with fake profiles, such as bots, because they want to collect information or do market research or just whatever logic they have for doing that. If you're dealing with on the people side, if there's a real person but giving fake information because they want to encourage a connection where one doesn't make sense, we call that catfishing. In IT, or in jobs in general, but IT is specifically bad about this because of the way that online hiring tends to happen, we have the exact same thing. The services, whether they're recruiting firms or just websites that host job listings, have a massive incentive to fill their sites with fake jobs, because as long as fake jobs are on there, or any jobs, then candidates are going to fill in profiles and start submitting, which allows people to collect information. You don't need a single real job for those sites to make money. A lot of it. So you have fake profiles, and you have systems that are creating bot profiles or completely fake profiles, but they're not from the website itself, to collect information. But then you have lots and lots of companies out there that falsely represent themselves because they're catfishing in a professional sense. They want to collect information about possible candidates, or they want to get candidates on the line and hopefully talk them into being hired for something that isn't what they signed up for. This is pretty common. Now that's just what's going on from the company and the website side. There are lots of recruiting firms that are a little bit different than either, and they have a huge incentive to do the same thing as the website, but they often use job websites to coordinate this, which expands the process even more. They want to have lots and lots of candidates on the line so that when they go to a company to propose that they can fill a job, that'll be easier for them to fill. And the more candidates they have, the more desperate those candidates will tend to feel, which makes them more likely to accept lower pay, which makes the recruiter more capable to fill a job at a given company, because if they come in cheaper than some other recruiter, they are more likely to fill the position, even if their candidates are the same or lesser. So, in the real world, there's a massive market force from every angle to fill job sites with fake information in every direction. And it's real. If you spend a lot of time job hunting, you will find pretty quickly that job listings are fake. They may look real, they may sound real, they may be posted to many places, they may be posted directly by the company that you think is doing the hiring, but they're almost always fake. And 85% is pretty conservative. It's easily closer to 90 to 99%. It's just really hard to know for sure, because when you apply for a job and don't get a response, is that because it was already filled? Is it old data? Was it never meant to be filled? Did they mean to fill it but change their mind? There's a lot of different factors that could be leading to that, and some of them are overtly fake, and some are just suggestively fake, and some kind of overlap with being fake while not actually being technically fake. They just result in utility of the same as being fake. So it's important to understand when you're looking at job listings, because a lot of IT people use job listings as a guide for things, and you'll hear people say this all the time. Oh, you want to know what people are hiring for in your market? Go look at a job posting and see what people are asking for. This is actually pretty bad advice, because it's based around the fact that people think the job listings must be real. So that leads them to then look for skills, to acquire skills that fake jobs are looking for. But those fake jobs are probably looking for skills that people have put falsely on their resumes for the same reason in the other direction. So they're feeding off of each other, and it doesn't in any way reflect what people are actually looking to hire, at least in most cases. And then some places are simply looking to do market research. For example, you're an employer and you want to know how much it might cost you to hire someone, so that you can then go to management and talk about what it will cost to hire someone. To do that, one of the easiest and cheapest ways is to go onto a job site, post a fake job that looks something like something you might hire, and see what kind of price ranges and skill sets and number of candidates come back. Of course, a lot of those candidates are fake the same way the job postings are, but it still gives you a number to take to management and say, look, we could hire someone for X, so we would like to then put out a real job posting and see about hiring them. That's so common that it's almost a stock way to do it. Because of this, we have a lot of misinformation in the field, whether it's misinformation about how hard it is to get a job, because this makes people feel like they can submit to 100 jobs and only one answers them. They feel like failures, and they're more likely to accept less money or jump on an available position. And it makes companies have a very hard time figuring out which candidates are real. So the entire system becomes very, very misleading because of this. So as an IT pro, as an IT practitioner, what you need to understand, and you need to internalize this because it's incredibly important, is that when you see a job listing, it doesn't matter whether you see one of them or 100 of them, it doesn't give you solid information about what the market is like, about what that company is actually looking for, or if that job is even real. And this creates problems like people seeing requirements and believing falsely that requirements are very, very strict. But in reality, companies put in really weird requirements into these fake job postings so that they always have an excuse to turn down anyone who comes up. And it doesn't matter whether it's the company doing it or a recruiter or whatever. And this is where you see conflicting requirements all the time. Now, of course, there are some legitimately clueless people who put accidental conflicting requirements into job listings just because they don't know how to hire and they're incompetent. It does happen. But much more likely and much more logical is that conflicting requirements exist, or illogical requirements exist, so that no candidate will reasonably fit the requirements list. And by doing this, in most countries, there are legal stipulations around who you can advertise a job to and why you can turn them down. And if those people feel that they're being turned down for illegal reasons, such as race, sex, age, and so forth, they may sue you because they feel that they can win, and in many cases they could. But if you have job requirements that they didn't meet, such as simply demanding an illogical level of formal education, or a mix of certifications that you would be unlikely to have, or a single piece of technical expertise that would take you out of the price range of some other job that you're looking for, they can turn you down based on those factors and make it effectively impossible for you to take them to court, even though they're actually discriminating and would have hired someone had they actually been looking without meeting those requirements. And it makes IT pros feel that requirements exist that simply don't. So that's kind of the basics, and we're going to build a lot on that, but it's important to understand at a fundamental level that job postings are fake, and there's very logical reasons why it's like that. It's unfortunate, but you must accept it, or you're going to find job hunting in IT to be incredibly stressful, misleading, and difficult when Okay, it's going to be all those things, but it doesn't have to be nearly as bad as it seems once we realize what's going on and we change our behavior to work around the way that that is happening. Thanks for joining me today here on the Sam IT channel. Remember to like and subscribe, and you can hop onto Patreon and sponsor us directly through there and follow us along here to help with your career growth as we discuss more career topics and how these kind of factors play out in the real world.